Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Now, I've decided to record, because I'm aware of what things are called, Night of the Doctor and Day of the Doctor. So I'm going to put them together and create a podcast called Night and Day, which arguably could end up being the longest Tin Dog podcast of all time. I am going to record Night of the Doctor right now, and then I will come back and I will record Day of the Doctor once it's actually been on. You see, this is a busy week. We've got Night of the Doctor. On Saturday we've got Day of the Doctor. I don't know when you're going to get this, probably Monday or Tuesday of next week or this week, or as you're listening to it. I'm going to use a word to do with time travel. Now, that's it. It doesn't really matter when you get this, but it has been a busy week. We've got the documentary on BBC Two, Me, You and Doctor Who. We've got Who is the Doctor on BBC Radio 2, and that's on immediately after one of the highlights of the week for me, which is going to be the Blagger's Guide to Doctor Who. More about that when I can get around to reviewing it. But that's actually written and presented by David Quantick, who wrote The Dark Husband for Big Finish, so he knows what he's talking about. Of course, we'll have the after party, whatever godforsaken thing that is. And there's a few more things online, apparently. But right now, I need to talk about Night of the Doctor. I did not know this was coming. Picture it. I'm in the house. I'm actually making soup. That's not a euphemism for something. I am actually making soup. And I get a text from Tom. That's Tom from the Doctor Who podcast, which of course is a Doctor Who podcast called the Doctor Who podcast. And his message simply says, stop whatever you're doing and go and get iTunes. Now I am a bit busy and I'm a bit stroppy, so I say, why? What is it? Just tell me. And in capitals he replies, just do it. And for this I am grateful, because I didn't know that there was going to be a McGann story. I'm not on Twitter. The show Blue Box Messiah has a Twitter account, but that's run by the producers. And they sometimes put the Tin Dog podcast information out there. But I'm personally not on Twitter, so I don't know any of these things. I've been staying off the internet as much as I can in order to avoid spoilers for Saturday. But I put the computer on, I go to the site he specifies, and there, before me, is something that's basically made my year. Yes, I am an old-school Doctor Who fan. Yes, I am a massive fan of McGann, and have spent far too much time hanging around Big Finish for my own good. I know how good the Eighth Doctor is. For a long time, the Eighth Doctor was my Doctor, because that was the one I looked forward to the most. If the Eighth Doctor was in peril, then it was actual peril. It wasn't like listening to one of the classic Doctors, because it was the current Doctor. It was the Doctor of the time. McGann is spectacular as the Doctor. He was great casting at the time, and this gets to work. Yes, it could be described as the ultimate in fan nonsense, and if you cast your mind back a year and a half to Hooverville, not the one just gone, but the one before that, when we were asked on stage what we'd like for our 50th anniversary special, I did say that the ultimate villain has to be a mad, insane Eighth Doctor, and the other Doctors have to combine forces to defeat him, because the Doctor is the only villain worth having in an anniversary story. I don't actually know what's coming, but at the minute, that's where it feels like it's going. Yes, we all shouted, Khan, the minute that the Sisterhood turned up. And the fact that it takes place on Khan, this story, is brilliant. Yes, in order to change gender, you do need Khan levels of regeneration technology, but that's fine. More about that when I get to ramble about it. McGann dominates the screen from the moment he steps foot. Yes, not the Doctor we're expecting, but the Doctor we're so pleased to see. I could talk about this for hours. Considerably longer than the actual 7.5 minutes. So we get to see the beginning and the end of the Eighth Doctor. We now have regeneration footage for every single Doctor-ish that people can put together in a nice montage. Well, we haven't got a... Well, let's call... In fact, to be honest, we're going to have to start calling him the Ninth Doctor. Yes, they're calling him the War Doctor, but let's face it, John Hurt's the Ninth Doctor. Everyone else gets bumped up one, which I'm guessing makes Capaldi number 13, which is fine, but they will have to sort out, even as a throwaway line, that whole 1976 reference to the Doctor only having 12 regenerations. No, the important thing here is that it could have been written by a fan, one of us. I'm not talking about the TV working fans who understand the pressures of TV. No, I'm talking about fan fiction, the sort of thing that would appear on the internet and people would go, lovely, but it would never happen. We got an entire regeneration almost off camera. Yes, it appeared on the TV if you pressed the red button, which I admittedly didn't get around to doing. That cannot be helped. So what's that noise? Is it the noise of a freighter plummeting through the atmosphere and impacting on the surface of the Khan? Is it the last blasts of the Time War? No, is it the sound of the internet exploding? Because believe you and me, I believe everyone was far too excited by this story. I've not even bothered to check to see if it's the same actress from Brain of Morbius. And of course, Brain of Morbius is the one story where the Doctor's many regenerations is called into doubt. For those of you who don't know, there's a scene in Brain of Morbius where the Doctor and Morbius have a sort of mental duel. To illustrate the mental duel going on, they have a visual representation on screen of the previous incarnations of either the Doctor or Morbius. Other people turn up. This messes with people's heads. It implies that there's been previous Doctors, ones before Hartnell. Now these, of course, were just photographs of the crew, which did cause some arguments amongst the unions of the time, but that's not important. What is important for us as fans is that this is the story where it's implied that there are more than one previous Doctors. Khan is the perfect choice, and of course it's a ship's graveyard. Things do actually plummet here. It all fits with previous continuity. The Time War is raging. Everyone is annoyed. So is he wearing his Dark Eyes costume? Well, for my sins, I've been keeping Dark Eyes because I always had the feeling it was towards the end of McGann's run. And I've enjoyed McGann so much that I kind of didn't want to go there because I didn't want to have to invest that much time. And also have spent most of this summer listening to the entirety of Game of Thrones read by Roy Dotrice. Only to discover, rather sadly, that there's actually a 6th volume. That's not important, but the fact that the 6th volume doesn't exist and Roy Dotrice is not getting any younger will just upset me if they get someone else to do the voice. This is possibly the biggest digression I've done in some time. So, we are left with what I can only describe as the Jacoby effect. Sitting there going, oh, if only we could have had more. Yes, I know there's an argument saying McGann's long gone and a lot of people wouldn't know who he is, but I'm sure the thing's been viewed several million times. We liked Paul McGann. He was a good Doctor. There you go. That's fine. And you know what? It is fine. It's fine that it lasted 7 minutes, but it's also fine and better that we get to see McGann's end. Will it hurt? Will it John hurt? Yes. But the surprise for me is that John Hurt regenerates into young John Hurt. John Hurt from the 70s. John Hurt from when he was Quentin Crisp. From when he was in Alien. This is a young John Hurt, and the John Hurt we've seen in the photographs is old, current John Hurt. So does that mean that we get an entire lifetime of John Hurt, well, fighting the Time War, because he's the warrior Doctor, or Doctor number 9? Because let's face it, anything that winds up Eccleston... Oh, I've just realised. If Eccleston is 10, he's Eccles 10. Yes, from now on he shall be called Eccles 10. I have declared it and made it true. And discovered that I am rambling insanely. Yes, I'm excited. Oh, and how lovely was it mentioning all of their companions from Big Finish. Making them canon, if you like that sort of thing. Yes, they are real. They are the truth. So yes, we now have the end of Doctor 8. And for me, what will make the next anniversary special is the regeneration of Hurt into Eccleston. That would make me happy. It genuinely would. But the anniversary special is going to have to be a hell of a lot because it can't possibly be better than this. Can it? I could now, in fact I should, make a list of all of the things that I want to happen in the anniversary special. Number 1, definitely, is John Hurt regenerating into Eccleston. Eccles 10. Let's go with the new name. Yes, I wouldn't mind an old doctor turning up, but I don't know how they could do it because everyone is so much older. So I can forgive them. I genuinely can forgive them for not having old people because it would just confuse matters. But probably something, I don't know, a photo gallery or paintings or something. Some things on a wall would be good. We know there are Zygons in this story. I'm not quite sure how that works. And just like the three doctors, the chances are Tennant, let's stick with calling him Tennant's doctor and Smith's doctor will spend time together. Does this mean they'll produce a little Lego John Hurt to come with the Capaldi box set? I'm now giving this far too much thought. Right, I will go now. I genuinely will go now, and I will be back momentarily in a few days' time, or as you're concerned again, now, to talk about, well, we've done Night of the Doctor, it's now Day of the Doctor. Hashtag save the day. Hashtag, God, can we just not get off Twitter? Please. I will, of course, be watching it in the house. Unlike every other podcast, I will not be seeing it in 3D. I will not be seeing it at the Doctor Who wedding. I will not be at the Excel Arena. I will be in my house. Possibly watching it in HD. Probably not. Be seeing you. Yeah, be seeing you. You've been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its connected properties are copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. Whostrology, a Time Traveller's Almanac, is available through Telos Publishing or Amazon. Visit www.whostrology.com for further information. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.
Help me, please. Can anybody hear me?
Please state the nature of your ailment or injury.
I'm not injured, I'm crashing. Don't need a doctor.
A clear statement of your symptoms will help us provide the medical practitioner appropriate to your individual needs.
I'm trying to send a distress signal. Stop talking about doctors.
I'm a doctor, but probably not the one you're expecting. Where are the rest of the crew?
Teleported off.
But you're still here.
I teleported them.
Why you?
Everyone else was screaming.
Welcome aboard.
Aboard what?
I'll show you.
Where are we going?
Back of the ship.
Why?
Because the front crashes first. Think it through. Oh, I need you to do that.
Emergency protocols.
What's your name?
Cass,
You're young to be crewing a gunship, Cass.
I wanted to see the universe. Is it always like this?
If you're lucky. Don't worry, it's bigger on the inside.
What did you say? Bigger on the inside, is that what you said?
Yes, come on, you'll love it.
Is this a TARDIS?
Yes, but you'll be perfectly safe, I promise you.
Don't touch me!
I'm not part of the war. I swear to you, I never was.
You're a Time Lord.
Yes, I'm a Time Lord, but I'm one of the nice
Get
ones.
away from me!
Oh, look on the bright side, I'm not a Dalek.
Who can tell the difference anymore?
Cass!
It's deadlocked! Don't even try!
Cass, just open the door. I'm trying to help.
Go back to your battlefield! You haven't finished yet. Some of the universe is still standing.
I'm not leaving this ship without you.
Then you're gonna die right here. Best news all day.
Cass, Cass. Cass!
And here he is at last, the man to end it all. My sisters, the Doctor has returned to Khan. We have always known in our bones that one day he would return here. Such a pity he's dead.
Cass!
If you refer to your companion, we are still attempting to extract her from the wreckage.
She wasn't my companion.
She's almost certainly dead. No one could survive that crash.
I did.
No. We restored you to life, but it's a temporary measure. You have a little under 4 minutes.
4 minutes? That's ages. What if I get bored? I need a television, couple of books, any more but chess? Bring me knitting.
You have so little breath left. Spend it wisely.
Hang on. Is it you? Am I back on Khan? You're the Sisterhood of Khan. Keepers of the flame of utter boredom.
Eternal life.
That's the one.
Mock as if you will. But our elixir can trigger your regeneration. Bring you back. Time Lord science is elevated here on Khan. The change doesn't have to be random. Fat or thin. Young or old. Man or woman.
Why would you do this for me?
You have helped us in the past.
You will have a big on gratitude.
The war between the Daleks and the Time Lords threatens all reality. You are the only hope left.
It's not my war. I will have no part of it.
You can't ignore it forever.
I help where I can. I will not fight.
Because you are the good man, as you call yourself?
I call myself the Doctor.
It's the same thing in your mind.
I'd like to think so.
In that case, Doctor, attend your patient. You're wasting your time. She is beyond even our help.
She wanted to see the universe.
She didn't miss much. It's very nearly over.
I could have saved her. I could have got her off this. She wouldn't listen.
Then she was wiser than you. She understood there was no escaping the Time War. You are a part of this, Doctor. Whether you like it or not.
I would rather die.
You're dead already. How many more will you let join you? If she could speak, what would she say?
To me, nothing. I'm a Time Lord. Everything she despised.
She would beg your help, as we beg your help now. The universe stands on the brink. Will you let it fall? Fast or strong? Wise or angry? What do you need now?
Warrior.
Warrior?
I don't suppose there's any need for a doctor anymore. Make me a warrior now.
I took the liberty of preparing this one myself.
Get out! Get out! All of you. Will it hurt?
Yes.
Good. Charlie, Carers, Lucy, Tamsin, Molly. Friends, companions I've known, I salute you. And Cass, I apologize. Physician, heal thyself.
Is it done? Doctor no more.
It's the 50th anniversary. Last year, you promised yourself you'd get a copy of Whostrology. You know, for yourself, for that bookcase. You dropped hints to your loved ones. You wrote letters to Santa. You even promised yourself you'd buy yourself a copy to celebrate finishing off all that annoying Christmas shopping. But it never arrived. So this year, why not give in and buy one of the funniest books you'll ever read? Annoy your family by chortling away at jokes that only you and a handful of other Doctor Who fans will get. Whostrology, it's the future. Stop hanging around waiting for the ebook to come out. There won't be an ebook. There won't be an app. Buy it today while stocks last. Click on the link on the Tin Dog Podcast homepage or visit any branch of Amazon. You know you want to.